Think back to the last time you got a raise. Or maybe you landed a big new client or got a really nice year-end
Right. Yeah.
bonus.
That moment of just like pure relief.
Right. You run the numbers in your head, you celebrate a little bit, and you think to yourself, finally, I'm finally going to have some real breathing room in my budget.
The math feels so clear in that moment. More money means more money stays in the bank.
Exactly. But then, like 12 months go by, and you look at your checking account at the end of the month, and you have the exact same amount left over as you did a year ago.
It's wild. It makes 0 sense on paper.
It makes no sense at all. And yet, if you talk to almost anyone, they will admit this exact thing has happened to them. Where did the money actually go?
It feels like an impossible money mystery. I used to beat myself up over this all the time.
Same here. It's universally it's just so deeply frustrating. And today, I really want to unpack the hidden mental habits behind it because there is this concept I've been thinking about, kind of like a wealth thermostat.
A wealth thermostat.
Yeah.
I love that framing.
Yeah, we are diving deep into this idea today. Our goal is to figure out what this quiet, hidden number is that dictates your bank balance and why your brain is just fiercely defending that number.
Which is the wildest part, right? Your brain actually fights to keep you at a certain level.
It does. And, crucially, we want to talk about how you can manually change that setting so your financial growth actually sticks. Because earning more money rarely means you actually keep it.
Which completely flies in the face of logic. Logically, getting a raise should mean building wealth. But, our brains don't consult a spreadsheet when it comes to money.
No, they definitely don't.
Your brain operates on what feels familiar. It builds this financial home base, a sense of normal.
I want to make sure I really get this. What exactly defines this normal? Are we talking about a specific dollar amount?
Exactly. Somewhere along the line, your mind learned what a normal amount of money looks like for someone like you. Let's say you spent the last 5 years getting used to managing $3,000 a month.
Okay, 3,000.
That number becomes your money set point, your wealth thermostat. Just like the physical dial in your living room is set to, say, 70 degrees, your brain sets your money comfort zone to that specific monthly number.
Okay, so my mental thermostat is set to $3,000. What happens when I suddenly make 5,000?
Your brain reacts. And surprisingly, not with joy.
Wait, not with joy.
No, it creates an uncomfortable, almost physical feeling. Now, if your income drops below your set point, say you lose your job or your hours get cut, you feel panic, a deep sense of fear.
Right, which makes total sense. We all know what money panic feels like, and it really
Yeah.
pushes you to act.
It's a pure survival drive. That fear pushes you to hustle, take on extra shifts, or sell things until you climb back up to your normal number.
But what's blowing my mind here is what happens when your income goes above the set point, when things are actually going well.
This is the part that is so hard to grasp at first. When you hit a surplus, you feel a different kind of stress. You feel itchy.
Itchy, like you just can't sit still with it.
Yes. Your hidden mind starts looking for ways to relieve the pressure of having too much money. It actually wants to get rid of it.
Wait, really? Even though having extra money should take away my stress, my brain is actively trying to ruin it.
Because your brain isn't trying to make you rich. It doesn't care about your wealth or your deep hopes for the future.
It just wants normal.
Exactly. It only cares about what is familiar. It is trying to return you to the temperature it already knows how to survive in. So if you suddenly have an extra $2,000, your mind goes right to work finding ways to absorb it, just to bring the heat back down to normal.
It makes me think of the cruise control on a car. Like, let's say you've got your car set to 60 miles per hour on the highway.
Oh, that's a perfect way to look at it.
Right, so if you suddenly hit a steep downhill slope, which is like a big bonus or a windfall,
Yeah.
what does the car do?
The engine actively brakes. It fights the momentum to force you back down to 60.
Yes. And if you hit a steep uphill climb, which is like a money crisis, the engine revs harder. It fights gravity, burning extra fuel to force you back up to 60. Our brains are just playing the role of the cruise control.
That is exactly what is happening. And what's wild is how quietly this shows up in real life. It's rarely some dramatic spending spree where you buy a boat.
No, it's subtle.
Very subtle. Have you ever noticed that weird, quiet stress when your savings account grows a little too large?
Yes, absolutely. You hit a new goal, maybe $10,000 in savings, and instead of feeling secure, you suddenly start finding reasons why you need a new bed or why the car needs early repairs.
You start inventing problems to solve with that exact amount of money.
Or think about the mysterious slow quarter that freelancers always talk about.
Oh, the boom and bust cycle.
Right. You'll see someone have a record-breaking, super profitable quarter, and without fail, the very next quarter is dead slow.
It's like their income needed to average itself back out just to keep that familiar baseline.
But if this itch to spend or this urge to slow down is happening to almost everyone, it can't just be a lack of willpower.
No, it's not a flaw in your character at all.
There has to be a deeper mental trigger driving us to empty our pockets. Like, how does the brain actually handle these resources?
Well, it comes down to how we anchor our thoughts. The central concept driving your thermostat is called anchoring.
Anchoring, meaning we don't judge our money in a blank space.
Precisely. Your brain compares every new number to the reference point it already holds. If your internal anchor for monthly income is $2,000, a $3,000 month feels incredibly rich.
You feel like royalty.
You do. But if your anchor is set at $10,000, that same $3,000 feels like a severe crisis. The anchor isn't built on logic, and it isn't built on what rent and food actually cost. It's
But-
built entirely on repetition.
So whatever number I've seen the most often becomes my reality.
Yes. And it goes even deeper when you look at how we place money into different mental buckets. This is why we treat our money differently depending on where it came from.
I love this idea. This is why we treat a bonus so differently than a regular paycheck, right?
Exactly. Think about it. If you get $1,000 in your normal weekly paycheck, your brain tags it as survival money.
Right. You use it for rent, bills, and food very carefully.
But if you get a $1,000 sudden bonus, your brain tags it as free money or fun money.
And you blow it on a fancy dinner or a new gadget you don't even need.
On paper, it's the exact same $1,000. But in your mind, one is protected and the other is subjected to the thermostat's urge to burn it off.
And then there's the element of mental energy. I was reading about this idea of a scarcity mindset once, and it completely changed how I view money mistakes.
The scarcity mindset is huge. How did it shift things for you?
Well, think of your brain like a smartphone.
Okay, I'm with you.
If you have 20 heavy apps open at the exact same time, draining the battery and using all the memory, the phone gets incredibly slow.
It barely functions at all.
Right. When you are living near your money ceiling for a long time, meaning you are constantly doing mental math to figure out if you have enough gas money to get to work, or stressing over a $50 hike in the power bill.
Those are heavy apps running in the background.
Yes, 24/7. They eat up so much of your brain power. You're mentally exhausted just trying to survive the week.
It's exhausting.
So when a sudden windfall hits, say you get a promotion and your income jumps, logically, you should sit down, make a budget, and plan for the long term.
But you don't have the mental energy left to do that.
You don't. Your brain is just fried. It lacks the juice for complex long-term planning. It desperately craves quick relief from the constant stress of scraping by. It wants a quick reward.
A dopamine hit.
Exactly. So you buy an expensive jacket or you book a quick trip because your brain is seeking instant comfort.
Which perfectly explains the ultimate extreme example of the wealth thermostat. Lottery winners.
Oh, that is the perfect example.
It really is. People who study huge windfalls have found that a massive portion of sudden lottery winners end up returning to their original net worth within just 3 to 5 years.
Millions of dollars just gone.
Systematically drained away until the person is back to their exact previous baseline.
But hold on, let me push back on the lottery winner thing for a second. When we hear those horror stories, isn't it mostly because they made terrible investments?
That's what everyone assumes, yeah.
Or they just completely lacked self-control and bought 10 sports cars for their friends? Couldn't someone with a strict budget fix this easily?
That is the most common thought. We think it's just wild, reckless choices. And yes, bad deals happen, but the real issue is something much quieter called lifestyle creep.
Lifestyle creep, meaning they don't just buy a huge mansion, they upgrade the normal things.
Exactly. It's the subtle, slow expansion of spending to meet the new income. They start buying organic food instead of regular. They fly first class instead of economy.
They buy the slightly nicer brand of paper towels.
Yes. Every single ordinary choice gets a small upgrade. It drains the wealth by 1,000 tiny cuts. And to your point about budgeting, a paper budget only manages numbers on a screen.
But the wealth thermostat operates in your hidden mind.
And the hidden mind almost always wins. If you don't address the internal anchor, you will always find a way to break or ignore the budget just to relieve the itch of having too much money.
Okay, so if we are all operating on this hidden money cruise control, Who set the dial in the first place? If I didn't choose my anchor, where did it come from?
That is the big question. And the answer is deeply tied to our childhoods. Most of us don't actually create our own early set points. We inherit them from whoever raised us.
So we're just absorbing our parents' money stress.
You're absorbing their definition of normal. Think about it. When you were a child, your parents probably never sat you down and showed you their bank accounts.
Definitely not.
But your child brain observed everything. You noticed the physical tension in your mother's shoulders at the grocery store checkout line if the total crept too high.
Or you heard the hushed, stressed whispers at the kitchen table about a car repair.
Exactly. You notice that going on vacation means driving to your aunt's house, not flying to a nice hotel.
Wow.
Your brain pairs that specific level of money tension with normal life. It builds a thermostat set right there, long before you ever earn your own paycheck.
And I guess if you grew up in a home with a much higher income, normal looks completely different.
Exactly. Normal is sudden bills being paid without a second thought. Normal is eating out 3 nights a week without checking the bank balance.
This explains so much about adult relationships. Like, I've seen couples have explosive, huge fights over what seems like a tiny $50 credit card charge.
Because they aren't actually fighting about the $50.
They're defending their deep childhood views of survival.
Exactly. One partner's thermostat is screaming, "Danger, we're spending too much, this isn't normal." While the other partner is perfectly relaxed because their childhood anchor was set much higher.
They're defending their whole identity.
Precisely. Let's look at how this plays out in normal careers, because it is so common. I have this friend, let's call her Sarah.
Okay, tell me about Sarah.
For years, Sarah worked in marketing and was making about $3,000 a month. She managed it well, paid her bills, but things were tight. That $3,000 was her set point.
Okay, so the cruise control is locked at $3,000.
Then she gets a major promotion. Her income jumps to $4,500 a month, a massive bump.
That's life-changing.
She fully expected to start saving seriously, to build an emergency fund. But what actually happened? Within 2 months, she moved to a slightly nicer apartment, so her rent went up.
Oh, no.
She decided her old car wasn't nice enough, so she financed a new one. Her monthly savings rate stayed exactly flat.
But why did she do that? She didn't strictly need the new car or the new apartment.
Because she treated the new income as something that absolutely must be absorbed back into her lifestyle, the extra money felt unnatural.
It made her itchy.
Yes. She felt confused and a bit ashamed because, on paper, she was doing incredibly well. But in reality, she felt no richer than she did a year prior. Her engine braked to slow her back down.
And you know, it happens totally differently if you don't have a fixed salary. If you're listening to this and you work for yourself, maybe you're a freelancer, an artist, or run a small business, think about your own habits here, because there is a trap specifically for variable earners.
Oh, definitely. There's a guy I worked with named Michael that shows this perfectly. Michael was a contractor, and his income was always up and down.
Like most freelancers.
Right. He would hustle hard and land a massive $6,000 a month. But almost like clockwork, it would be followed by a dismal $2,000 a month. For years, he blamed the market.
But it wasn't the market, was it? He was doing it to himself.
When he finally looked at his own habits, he realized that after a strong month, he was quietly taking his foot off the gas.
So?
He would stare at an email from a new client and decide to reply tomorrow. He'd take extra afternoons off to watch TV. His mind needed to bring his average income back down to his familiar baseline. It's called income smoothing.
Income smoothing. He was literally sabotaging his own business just to stay inside his comfort zone.
We all do it in one way or another.
Okay, so knowing this trap exists is great, but how do we manually override it? I don't want to be a victim to my childhood anchor forever. How do we hack the thermostat?
The good news is that anchors can be moved, but it requires deliberate friction. There's a brilliant habit used by a nurse I know named Jennifer. Let's call it the 30-day delay rule.
Let's hear it. How did Jennifer outsmart her own brain?
Jennifer got a very nice raise. But instead of doing what Sarah did, immediately upgrading her life to absorb the money, Jennifer hacked her set point.
What did she do?
She went to her payroll department and routed the entire amount of her new raise directly into a separate, hard-to-reach savings account.
Yeah.
She didn't let a single penny of the new money touch her main checking account for 30 full days.
Oh, that is brilliant. Because she took the money away from her daily willpower.
Exactly. For 1 full month, she forced herself to live on her old salary. By giving her brain that 30-day buffer, she gave her mind time to adjust to the new reality without triggering the spend-it itch.
The friction broke the cycle.
It did. She realized she didn't actually need the extra money to survive, and she kept the majority of it flowing into investments permanently.
So the core trick for resetting the thermostat is intentional delay, starving that instant urge to spend. But to even start doing that, you have to know where your anchor is currently set.
Right, diagnosis is step one. You can't fix what you can't see. Sit down and track your last 12 months of income and spending side by side.
Look for the pattern.
Exactly. Does your spending magically rise within a month or two of every unexpected windfall? That is the clearest signal of a set point at work.
I had a great exercise for this. Write down your gut number for a normal month before you look at your bank accounts.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, just close your eyes and ask yourself, what does a normal month of living cost? Whatever number pops into your head instantly, that gut number is your anchor.
Once you know the number, the absolute best way to hack the system is to automate your growth using percentages, not fixed dollar amounts.
Okay, break that down for me simply. Why do percentages work better than just saying, I'm gonna save an extra $200 this month?
Because fixed dollar amounts require daily willpower, and they don't adapt to your rising income.
Okay.
Let's say you automate a $200 transfer to your savings. Great. But then you get a promotion and you're making $1,000 more a month. Your $200 transfer stays the same, leaving $800 extra dollars sitting in your checking account.
And your thermostat will spot that $800 and demand you spend it.
Exactly. But if you use a percentage...
I see where this is going.
Right. If you automate 15% of your paycheck into investments, then when your income jumps, your savings automatically jump at the same rate. The money is stolen away to your investment account before your brain's thermostat even registers that the temperature went up.
It's invisible wealth building. I love that. Another habit that really stands out as a pattern breaker is the 15-minute monthly review.
It sounds so simple, but it is profoundly effective at grounding you in reality.
How does it work?
Once a month, force yourself to look at your income, your spending, and your savings side by side on one single screen.
Because avoiding it is how the thermostat wins, right? We get a raise, we assume there's plenty of money in there, and we stop checking the accounts.
Yes, that lack of observation is exactly what allows the hidden mind to quietly spend the surplus down to the old baseline.
Seeing all three numbers together repeatedly keeps your conscious, logical brain engaged. It stops you from relying on the gut feeling of your anchor.
You also have to practice what we call low-stakes exposure. If you want to raise your thermostat, you have to normalize higher numbers.
So how do we do that without actually spending the money?
Look at job listings that pay slightly more than you make now. Track the prices of homes just outside your current budget.
But not to torture yourself, right?
No, not to buy things you can't afford. You are doing it to let your brain see bigger numbers so frequently that they stop feeling strange and scary. Surround yourself with people who have a slightly higher set point. Their definition of a normal baseline will slowly start to pull yours upward.
It's about shifting what feels normal. But to do that well, you also have to aggressively cut out the habits that reinforce the old set point. So what are the traps we really need to avoid?
The biggest one. Do not immediately upgrade your housing or your car when you get a raise.
Like Sarah did.
Exactly. Upgrading fixed monthly bills is the absolute fastest way to lock your spending at a new, higher floor. It is deeply painful to undo a car lease or a mortgage when you realize you've stretched yourself too thin.
And trap number 2, stop treating tax refunds or bonuses as fun money. We talked about mental buckets. If you treat a bonus like a winning lottery ticket, your thermostat will ensure it vanishes by Friday.
And finally, be patient with the weird feelings. When you start keeping more money than you were used to, it will feel strange.
It will feel like you're forgetting to pay a bill.
Yes. Recognize that anxiety for what it is. It is just your old cruise control trying to kick back in.
So if we pull back and look at the bigger picture here, what does all of this mean for our long-term journey?
It means that your money future is a direction chosen daily, not a final stop you just arrive at. You can't just stumble into a high income and expect everything to, on its own, be fine. You have to measure your money health differently.
We have to measure the gap.
Exactly. Measure your progress by the gap between your income and your set point, not by your income alone. Earning a lot of money with a set point that demands you spend it all still equals crushing money stress.
That makes so much sense.
But here is the most hopeful part of this entire concept. This hidden mental habit isn't strictly bad.
Really? It feels like an enemy to me right now.
It's only an enemy if it's set too low. The exact same thermostat that quietly pulls you down after a raise can be trained to pull you up after a setback.
Oh, wow. I never thought about it in reverse.
If you do the deliberate work to establish a higher set point, a new, healthier definition of normal, then if you ever lose a job or take a financial hit, your brain will deploy that exact same powerful discomfort.
To save you.
Yes, it will use that relentless, itchy drive to hustle, to innovate, and to pull you back up to your new standard of wealth. Your thermostat becomes your ultimate safety net.
The cruise control revs the engine to fight the uphill climb. That is such an amazing way to look at it. You know, this whole discussion has me thinking beyond just bank accounts and budgets. I want to leave you, our listener, with a final thought to mull over today as you go about your week.
That's on your mind.
If our brains have a hidden set point for how much money we are comfortable having, could we also have an invisible happiness thermostat? Or a success thermostat?
Oh, that is deep.
Are there other areas in your life, maybe a romantic relationship, your career path, or even your health, where things get too good and you quietly pick a fight or cause problems just to return to a familiar level of struggle? Are you fighting an invisible anchor in your own happiness?
That is a profound question to walk away with.
Something to seriously think about the next time you find yourself hitting the brakes on a good thing?
These thoughts, these questions, they don't have to stop here. Money Geeks has many more podcasts and videos just like this one. Subscribe to the channel and explore other episodes. They all flow the same honest way. If this podcast felt genuinely useful to you, share it with even one person in your life. That one share can bring a real change in someone's life, and it helps Money Geeks reach more people who truly need this. If this brought you real value, look for the join button right next to the Money Geeks logo below this video. Click it and become a member of the Money Support Circle. Your support helps honest money awareness reach thousands who are silently struggling. Money Geeks moves forward because of you. Thank you so much from the heart for being here.